Hi everyone, my name is Courtney, and today I'm going to talk about journaling. So normally on this channel, my big thing is books, but along with talking about books online and writing reviews and doing all of that, I also like to personally journal all of my stuff just for myself. It is something I got into, I want to say 2017, when the big Bojo thing happened, and so I've been journaling for quite a while, and I'm also someone that grew up in a time where they taught you how to use planners in school and required you to use planners in school, and so I've always been somebody that's like the planner, that's like a day journal, and has wanted to write my thoughts and to write bookish thoughts that maybe I don't necessarily need to share or want to share. And so from the bullet journal, I went into the junk journal. This was my 2020 through, I think I finished it in 2024. So this one took me a really long time, but it was something that I tried to put junk stuff in, try to put stuff that I was enjoying in. One of those things being books. Into 2024, when I was starting a new planner, a new bookish journal, I wanted to try something different. I was seeing the Hobonichi being really popular, and my workplace was happening to be getting rid of some dead stock of journals that we as employees could pick through and get. And so I picked up this one, which is listed as the Koroku JDRM 24. And it's similar to the Hobonichi, it's Japanese, and it's listed like this where every single day has its own page. And I like it because it's split into 6-month periods, and then you have a plastic sleeve that you put the journal in. And I enjoyed it. Basically, when I had a day that I read a book, I would put in some stats about the book and some of my thoughts. And I could use this as a way to just discuss things, talk about things that I would use in reviews, but also just like my random thoughts that I necessarily didn't want to share. I've always had a lot of journals. I've had a daily planner, I've had my journal that I'm writing down ideas for YouTube, and then I've had my junk journal, my writing journal. So I wanted a way to combine these things. And so at the beginning of 2025, when I needed a new journal, I decided to make my own. And so this was really, really easy. I went onto Canva, I looked at the free stuff that was available, the stuff that other people had created, and I combined them to make my own journal. And then it was really easy because I already had the plastic sleeve, so I just stuck this in there. So this is part planner, it is part junk journal, and it is part book journal. It's not completely successful yet, but I took this prototype and put it into my new 6-month journal for the end of 2025. So I started off with a monthly spread, and I like to list all the books I hope to read, what I'm reading, and when I read them in the month, just so I can kind of see how I read. But very sporadic reader, it's very interesting. And then I will have a couple of junk pages in between that are talking about the movies I saw, the things I did, the book stuff as well, but just any other kind of thoughts and opinions. I decided that 3 pages a month was good. And then we got into the reading journal spread, and I start off with things that I'm watched. I have a TBR page and a purchase page, so I can kind of track my purchasing. I have my own spreadsheet online too that I use, but this was fun. I have a book tracker that is just kind of a fun book page. I felt like this ended up being a very redundant page that I didn't need. And then I also have a list of all of the series that I'm currently reading. And then we get into the bookish pages, which is just a little page dedicated to every single book. I write the author, the genre, the page count, when I started, when I finished, a star rating, and then down below I'll say, oh, I read this as an audiobook. This is a book that I physically owned. This is a new series. This is a finished series. Whatever it may be, just little tidbits. And then the other thing I've been doing, I've really, really loved taking Instagram photos, but I just feel really dubious about putting my stuff out there on the internet now. And I wasn't getting a lot of viewership on Instagram anyway, so I just didn't know how to utilize the photos I liked taking. But now I can put these photos in my journal, which I really have enjoyed. So this was the prototype made on Canva, made by combining other people's stuff. And now I have my new journal, which I designed completely by myself on InDesign, inspired by the pages that I had previously used. It is not perfect. It is still a prototype, and I don't know if I'm completely able to not have a planner yet, but we're getting closer. And so I thought I would kind of share it with you and just how I'm able to utilize it. Again, I made this on InDesign, but there are plenty of free sites that you can use this on. You can use Canva and use other people's resources, but you can easily create your own stuff on on Canva as well for free and combine things in the way that you want it to be. So this again is split up into the reading journal side and the planner side, but the planner side still has a lot of books. I have my cover, which I think is really cute, kind of junk journal style. And then I have my little planner page, which is just kind of cutesy. I source most of my stickers from Daiso, which is a great option that I'm very lucky to have in my state. To have a basic calendar page that I haven't decorated yet, that is just the basic calendar. It had to be printed twice because we were having a lot of printing issues. I should say, my mom is a graphic designer, so she did help me with a lot of stuff with printing. I designed it all on InDesign myself, but she like kind of helped finesse it and with the printing. But we were having a lot of printing issues because the file got corrupted. But anyway, like the last journal, it goes into my calendar spread that I can just like discuss things that I need to do that month, whatever it may be. And then from here I have the planner aspect, and I really styled it off the Hobonichi because that's what I'm seeing on the internet, that's what I'm enjoying. I like how people are using it, but since it's not a Hobonichi, I can just make it whatever I want. So it has the weekly spread that I can write what I need to do every single day or what I did every single day. Since I'm unemployed currently, this is something that I am utilizing to write down what I did every single day just to make sure that I'm staying productive. And then next to it, I have a junk journal space, which I can put what I did during the week. So kind of more incorporating the planner into the junk journal to kind of pair them together. Like I'm a little worried about keeping it, but I was able to do 3 junk journal pages every single month in my last journal. So I'm anticipating that I'll be okay, that I will be able to do it. So that is my planner, my journal, and my junk journal. And from there we get into the reading journal, and that is my first little spread that I have. I have a place to write goals as well as another planning page. I have what I've watched as well as my TBR. These pages again could be finessed. I think I could have made them a little bit bigger to not make them that I had to write so tiny, but again, prototype. I have a page for my purchased books as well as my library checkouts. This was something I added since I am utilizing the library more. I wanted to know what I was gonna download for audiobook as well as I'm gonna get into ebooks, I think. I also have the series I need to read page, and then it's just getting into the daily books where it's very similar to the last page. I'm just gonna have my little cute picture as well as the details and then my thoughts on each book. And I just printed this out, so I haven't had time to write anything. And then the other thing about this is you made your own journal. How did you put it together? Bookbinding is actually pretty simple, especially when you're doing paperbacks like this. There are plenty of YouTube videos on how to do it. Go to your local craft store, you get a special type of binding glue, and you get linen. There are some other things that you can use, but we just got linen, and you basically just glue it together, let it wait overnight, and there you go, you have something bound. But I'm really excited. I wanted to take all the things that I love about a blank journal, about planner, and about a junk journal and a reading journal and combine them into one thing. And so hopefully in a couple months I'll be able to tell you if this was successful or not. But as someone who watches a lot of people journal, a lot of people discuss different planners and journals online, I just wanted to let you guys know that there is another option, because I feel like a lot of people struggle with their journals because there's always pages that they don't want to use or they don't feel like they're utilizing their journal. And I just wanted to show you that there is an option to make your own, and it sounds really complicated, but I don't think it is that complicated. Even if you don't want to create the assets yourself, it is very easy to go onto Canva to see what other people have made and take the best of what people have created and combine them in a way that makes sense for you. My problem is that a lot of journals will have all the months together and then all the weeks together. And for me, I like to have the month and then the weeks for that month right next to each other interspaced, very similar to an academic planner that I would have had in high school. Again, that's what I was used to, but I also want space to write other stuff, to junk journal, which a regular planner doesn't have really the space for. So if you want to journal and journals have not been working for you and you don't like making a bullet journal, this is another option, is to digitally design your journal and print it out and just make your own. But yes, I hope that this was interesting to kind of go through my journal, to see what it looks like, to see how I've set it up. Let me know if I should do a check-in with what I'm doing. But yeah, I hope this was helpful in some way. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys later, and happy reading.